Hey there! In today's video, we're going to be going over the 2022-2023 TMSCA General Math Test number 13. Let's do it. Alright, number 1, 1,487 plus 1,385 plus 1,726 equals what? Alright, this is a simple addition problem. We can solve this pretty easily. So first, let's do 1,487 plus 1,385. That gets us 2,872. Alright, next we're going to do 2,872 plus 1,726. When you do that, you get 4,598, and that's your answer. Alright, number 2, 376 minus 88 plus 123. Alright, this is a pretty simple problem. However, there's one thing to keep in mind here. So when solving a multi-operation problem like this, we need to use proper order of operations. So when you have the proper order of operations, the first operation you do is the one inside the parentheses. So in this case, we would do 88 plus 123 first. So 88 plus 123, that is 211. Alright, now all we have to do is do 376 minus 211. And when we do that, we get, so 376 minus 211, that gets us 165, and that's your answer. Alright, next up, number 3, 4.5 times 1.12. Alright, this is actually a pretty simple problem. So let's break this down. We have 4.5 times 1.12. Alright, so let's take this number 4.5. We can split this into 4 and 0.5. Alright, now we can multiply each of these separately by 1.12. So 4 times 1.12, that's just 4.48. And half, or 0.5, times 1.12 is just 0.56. Alright, now all we have to do is just add these together. Because when you have 4 and 0.5, when you add them together, you get 4.5. So when you multiply by 1.12, you have to add them together again. So 4.48 plus 0.56. That gets you 5.04, and that's your answer. Alright, number 4. 988 divided by 16. Rounded to the nearest 10. Let's solve this. Alright, so we have 988 divided by 16. This is a standard division problem, so we can solve it pretty easily. So obviously 16 doesn't go into 9, so we'll just write a 0 here. Does 16 go into 98? Yes. How much times? Well, 16 times 6 is 96, and that's the greatest multiple of 16 under 98. So we can write a 6 here and subtract 96. And we're left with 2. Alright, now we're going to bring an 8 down here. Alright, so does 16 go to 28? Yes. How many times? It only goes once. So we can write it with 1 here. And we're going to subtract 16, because 16 times 1 is 16. So 28 minus 16 is 12. Alright, so now we still have this remainder of 12. So what we can do here is, to get the decimal value, we can just do 12 divided by 16. 12 divided by 16 is nothing but 3/4. So that would be 0.75. However, it says to round it to the nearest tenth. So what we need to do is, we need to round this number right here. Since it's greater than 5, this number goes up to 8. So we get 61.8, and that's your answer. Next, what is the unit rate of purchasing 12 concert tickets for $1,350? Alright, so first we need to find out what the unit rate means. So in this problem, we're given 12 concert tickets. We're going to write C is equal to 1,350. So when you have a problem like this, they're going to give you X amount of a certain object. We're going to write object, and that equals Y amount of some value. Alright, so now what they're trying to find is if the X is equal to 1. So if one object, then what is the Y value? Alright, so here we're given 12 of the object is equal to 1,350. So this is the value. Alright, so now what we need to do is to figure out what the like the actual unit rate is, which is one object, we need to divide the value by the x value. All right, so that would just be 1,350 divided by 12. 1,350 divided by 12 is just 112.5. So when you simplify that to a dollar amount, that's $112.50, and that's your answer. Next, number 6. 27 minutes is what percent of an hour? Alright, so in an hour, you have a lot of minutes, right? You have 60 minutes to be exact. So if we have 27 minutes, we need to figure out what percent of the hour is that. Alright, the first thing we can do is, we can see that 30 minutes is half of the hour, or 50%. And since 27 is less than 30, that means the percentage must be less than 50. So we can automatically cross off C. Alright, so now what we need to see is, we know that 30 minutes is equal to 50%. So if we divide this by 10, right? Let's just take 10. That means 3 minutes equals 5%. And the reason we're dividing by 10 is the biggest common denominator, or the greatest common factor between these two numbers, 30 and 50. So because of that, if we divide it by 10, we're getting the simplest possible. Alright, so now we have 3 minutes is equal to 5%, and we're trying to figure out 27 minutes is equal to what percent? The way we can do that is, we can see what is the difference between 3 and 27. So 3 is just 1/9 of 27, or 3 times 9 equals 27. So to do the percentage of 27 minutes, all we would have to do is 5 times 9. 5 times 9 is 45, so we would get 45%, and that's your answer. Alright, next up, number 7. 1/4 of a circle is cut away, leaving the portion shown. What is the perimeter of the remaining portion? Let pi equal to 3. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to approach this problem. So we need to figure out the approach. So the way we're going to solve this problem is, we're going to find the circumference, which is kind of like the perimeter of a circle, okay? Assuming that the circle didn't have that portion cut. Then what we're going to do is, we're going to take 3/4 of that perimeter, since only 1/4 of the perimeter has been cut away. So we're going to take 3/4 of the perimeter, and then add this side right here, this side and this side to the perimeter. So let's do that. How do we calculate the circumference, or the perimeter of the circle? Well, the way we do that is we take the radius and the pi value, which in this case is 3. So we have the radius. So this number right here, 4, is our radius. So we have 4 is the radius, pi is 3, so multiplied by 3, which times 2. Because the formula to find the circumference is pi r2, or 2 pi r. It doesn't matter, because no matter what, you're multiplying all these terms. Alright, so in this case, 4 is our r, 3 is our pi, and then 2 is just, well, 2. Alright, so now we know that we can do this. So 4 times 3, that's just 12. 12 times 2, that's just 24. So now we know that the circumference of the circle, including that cut off portion, is 24. Now, if 1/4 of it was cut away, we're left with 3/4. So 3/4 of 24, that's just 18. Alright, so now we have the 3/4 part. But we're not done yet, because we still need to add back this portion right here. This one and this one. So what we can see is that this portion and this portion are congruent. The reason for that is, this right here is the center of the circle, and this is the end. So because of that, this 4 inches is our radius. So the radius is just from the center of the circle to any point on the circle, it'll always be the same distance, the radius. So that means this side is also 4. So this is 4 and this is 4, which means these are both 8. So we have 8 now. So we add 18 and 8 together to get 26, and that's your answer. Next, number 8, 983,466 divided by 9 has a remainder of what? That's what we're trying to figure out. Alright, so let's do this. So we're going to write this number digit by digit. 983,466. So starting from here, going this way, we're going to go digit by digit and check if it's divisible by 9. Let's start. Is 9 divisible by 9? Yes, it is. So we can cross that off. Next, is 8 divisible by 9? No, it's not. So let's not cross it off yet. We're going to go to the next number. So we have 8 and 3, which is 83. Is 83 divisible by 9? Well, it's not, but 81 is close. So what we can do is we can remove 81 from this and leave us with 2. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 6. So now we're going to go back and check. Does 9 go into 2? No, it doesn't. So let's go on to the next number. Does 9 go into 2, 4, which is 24? So does 9 go into 24? Yes, because 9 times 2 is 18, which is less than 24. So we're going to remove 18 from this, and we're left with 6. So now we have 6, 6, 6. All right, now we need to check. Does 9 go into 6? No, it does not. So we're going to move to the next one. Does 9 go into 66? Well, 9 times 7 is 63, which means 63 is the greatest multiple of 9 less than 66. So we can remove 63 from 66 to leave us with 3. Now we have 3. Does 9 go to 3? No. Well, we can do 3 and 6, which is 36. Does 9 go to 36? Yes, perfectly, because 9 times 4 is 36. So now we can cross that off and get rid of it. Now we have no remainder left, which means our remainder is 0, and that's your answer. Alright, next up, number 9. 17 million decigrams equals how many kilograms? Alright, let's look at this. So these are all units of measuring weight. So that means we can relate them by multiplying by 10. So a decigram, so 1 dg, is equal to 1/10 of a gram. And a gram is equal to 1/1000th of a kilogram. Alright, which means a decigram is equal to 1/10,000th of a kilogram. Alright, so we have 17 million decigrams. So we're trying to figure out how much kilograms. Well, we know that a decigram is 1/10,000th of a kilogram. 10,000 has 4 zeros, so we can take off 4 zeros from 17 million, which leaves us with 1,700. And that's your answer. Alright, next, number 10. How many total diagonals can be drawn from one vertex of a regular 18-sided polygon? Alright, so when they're asking for how many total diagonals can be drawn from one vertex of a however much sided polygon, it's actually a very simple problem. All you have to do is take the amount of sides, so in this case 18, and subtract 3 from it, and that equals 15. So that's the amount of total diagonals that can be drawn from one vertex of a regular 18-sided polygon, and that's your answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to show your support. These videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate it.